and I can see why Amrabat would send everything into a frenzy. Man United fans were ecstatic. The reason being is because he is a valuable player that Manchester United could have in their team. He's a very, very good player. So last night, reports started coming out that Amrabat had signed for Manchester United. Yes, shocking news. I was sat there watching TV and then suddenly my phone starts pinging like crazy and I'm getting reports that Amrabat has signed for Manchester United, but I did some digging around, checking around if that was the case because I'd heard nothing to the build-up of this deal. So I went and checked it out to see if this was actually true, and there was a reporter journalist in the name of Ism Anas, who is a Moroccan journalist, who had reported that the Moroccan international Sofiane Amrabat had been signed by Manchester United as breaking news. Now that's from a fairly reputable source, a source that wouldn't make up this kind of story. He would have a inside scoop because he was a Moroccan journalist. Obviously Amrabat is also Moroccan, therefore you'd think that he'd have some kind of inside line on this. Now since then there have been other reporters, other sources coming out saying that the deal hasn't been done, nothing has been signed. It's not confirmed that he's moving to Manchester United at all. It's just fake news. Is it fake news? Is it not? Do we read anything into it? In my opinion, there must be some credibility to this information, but yes, he hasn't fully signed for Manchester United. There's no news of that. But what I believe has happened is that Amrabat has made it clear that he wants to join Manchester United at all costs. Now, this morning, reports are coming out that he's actually refused to join Liverpool and wants to join Manchester United. Now, that could be the reason why we got the information last night from the Moroccan journalist. It might be lost in translation, but what he might be trying to say is that Amrabat has chosen to join Manchester United, not the other way around, not Manchester United having signed him. It is crazy news if he is coming to Manchester United because he is a very, very good player, and it would definitely benefit Manchester United having someone like that in the team, someone like that in the squad. It would be brilliant. He is a player that could offer a lot to Manchester United in the defensive midfield area. There's talks of Fred leaving, McTominay leaving, and if that is the case, then we will need someone like Amrabat to come in. I think relying on Casemiro alone is not an option for a team like Manchester United. We need a lot of other squad players. There's also the young boy Kobbie Mainoo. Now, he is not going to be a regular for Manchester United. He is going to be slowly integrated into the team. He's very young, and you do not want him to pick up some serious injury early on in his career. So what you have to do with players like that is slowly integrate them into the team, and hopefully by end of this season, early next season, he will be someone who you'd regularly go to and play in the team. One thing is for sure that we have got lots and lots of games this season. We've got Champions League, cup matches to be playing, and therefore you need a rotational squad. You need not 11 players, but you need at least 16 to 20 players who are first team players. Yes, it's first team of 15 to 20 players, not 11 anymore. It doesn't work like that in modern football. You need a rotational system where you can bring in players, rest players. That is what even Fergie was doing back in the days. So this is what Erik ten Hag is going to try and do with his new squad. He needs plenty of players for plenty of positions. So what do we make of Amrabat? I mean, I have been telling you for a long time, for weeks now, that Amrabat has agreed personal terms, but nothing formal has been agreed between the clubs. Manchester United haven't made a formal offer for Amrabat, and as things stand, nothing has changed. The breaking news last night, of course, sent the whole social media into meltdown. Any news to do with Manchester United is always huge, and it always sends the internet into complete meltdown. The signing of Amrabat was no different. The rumour of Amrabat signing started a frenzy all over the internet, and I can see why Amrabat would send everything into a frenzy. Man United fans were ecstatic. The reason being is because he is a valuable player that Manchester United could have in their team. He's a very, very good player. Manchester United fans would love to see him at the club. Ten Hag has previously worked with Amrabat and knows what he's like as a player. So Ten Hag is not just taking a shot in the dark. I like the fact that he's choosing players that he's already worked with, knows their mentality, knows that they can come and bring something to the team. We also had the breaking news yesterday that Harry Kane may be up for sale, and that threw the whole Rasmus Hojlund deal up in the air, because everyone was like, well, do we sign Rasmus Hojlund or do we go after Kane? Some people are actually saying, why are we going after Amrabat when we could get Kane? Why are we not making Kane the priority signing this summer window? He guarantees us goals. But as Manchester United, we do not want to lose our heads over this whole Kane saga. We do not want another Frankie de Jong situation where we're chasing one player throughout the transfer window. We do not want that. So we need to be calm. We need to stick to the plan as Manchester United are doing so far. We've got a player list. We're going through it one by one, hitting them targets one by one, getting our men in one by one. We do not want to then move off that whole plan and start going after Kane, forget about Amrabat, forget about Rasmus Hojlund, and at the end of the transfer window we end up with nobody. We don't end up with the players that we were going after, and we don't even get Kane. That is the worst case scenario, and that is what we want to avoid. So personally, I think what Man United need to do is get the players in that they're already on track to getting in, and then wait and see if Kane is still available, if he's available, if he comes available. Right now, these are just rumours that Joe Lewis, yesterday, the majority owner of Tottenham Hotspur, has told Daniel Levy to get rid of Harry Kane. And whether Daniel Levy is going to do that or not, we do not know. So let's wait and see. Let's keep our cool. We are Manchester United. We need to go after the players that we are going after and then move our attention to Kane and get him in as well. Now, let us know your opinion. Who do you think we should be prioritising as a signing this summer transfer window? Should it be Hojlund or should it be Kane? I mean, this is a really difficult question to ask. I think we should be going for all of them personally, because that would make us a better team. It'd give the team a balance. We are in need of 2 strikers, not 1. So just simply saying that we signed Rasmus Hojlund would have been enough this transfer window is a lie. It's not correct. We would have needed another striker. We need another experienced senior striker next to Rasmus Hojlund, and Harry Kane would be absolutely fantastic to play next to Rasmus Hojlund, so he can learn from him and he can see what it takes to be one of the best strikers in the Premier League. We need Amrabat because we need defensive cover for Casemiro, because Casemiro is very likely to get sent off in games and miss at least 3 games per season. So we need cover for Casemiro. This whole transfer window is fluid. We do know that the Glazers are still in charge and are still calling the shots and are still making decisions on signings and transfers out. That begs the question whether there is actually a takeover going to happen this summer. I think that whole news has completely gone out the window. No one really knows what's going on. What I can tell you is that I'm hearing from my sources that the Glazers are fully in charge. They're not looking to sell. They are calling all the shots. They're calling all the transfers, and it's unlikely that they'll be going anywhere soon. They're absolutely not going to be selling in this middle of this transfer window. They are here to stay as we know it right now. The talk is that if they were to sign Harry Kane, there is no way, no possibility whatsoever that the Glazers walk out of Manchester United. They would be here to stay. They will know that they've signed one of the best players in Europe, in the Premier League, and that success would be guaranteed on some level. Harry Kane had an amazing season last season. He is in the form of his life. If it wasn't for Hojlund, who scored 6 more goals than Harry Kane would have been hailed as one of the best strikers in the Premier League. There's also that big question that Harry Kane wants to break the all-time Premier League record goal scorer. This is why some people are saying that he will not choose to move to Bayern Munich, and if he had a choice, he would actually move to Manchester United. There's no other club in the Premier League who best fits Harry Kane than Manchester United. He isn't going to go to City. City do not need him. They've got Haaland. He's not going to go to any of the London clubs because of the rivalry. And he isn't going to go to Liverpool, who've already spent big on Nunes. The only big team that's missing a big striker is Manchester United. And this is why lots of fans, lots of people are saying that Manchester United need to go out there, get the money together, bid for Harry Kane and get him in to play for Manchester United this season. What are your thoughts on this? Some fans are not too keen on Harry Kane, just simply saying that, look, he's old and he's coming to the end of his career. What is the point of spending so much money on someone like that? I get that point. I get the point. Why would we go out and spend 100 million on someone who is likely to retire in a couple of years? But if he brings you the Champions League or the Premier League, that is worth it. That's absolute worth the cost of paying for him. And that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, no, we go out there as a big club. We need to be making these signings. We need big players in our team. We cannot survive off Rasmus Hojlund, a young teenager, playing striker for us throughout the season, that is not going to help us. It's all well and good that he's a young potential talent, but I do not think that putting him in the deep end immediately will help him in any way. Pressure was just going to be too much for someone like that, playing for a huge team like Manchester United, and then leading the line up front is just too much, too fast. So rounding up the transfer news, Hojlund still looks like it's still ongoing. Reports are coming out that Manchester United are yet to make their first bid. But I've told you that the whole transfer process has changed somewhat this season. It's not about when the official bid goes in. In fact, it's about the communications and the negotiations that are taking place before that. What Manchester United are now doing is only making the formal bid once they've agreed verbally with the clubs roughly what they're looking for in terms of the fee. We found this out with Onana and Mount, that Manchester United only make the formal offer once they've agreed something with the clubs on exactly what they're looking for in terms of the fee. I've reported to you in the last few shows that the whole issue with Rasmus Hojlund is about his fee and whether Atalanta will agree a fee for him. Atalanta believe that he's worth a lot more than what Manchester United are offering. Manchester United are saying that they will not go over a certain amount, and it's stalemate. We'll have to wait and see if the clubs can reach an agreement. I think they will. I think Manchester United are no longer the club that used to just simply go in there and pay whatever was being asked. They are playing hardball. They're going to make sure that they get the deal that is right for them, and maybe that's a good thing because it could leave some money in the budget for us to go after Kane. As I told you yesterday, Hojlund wants to come to Manchester United. Hojlund is a huge Manchester United fan. Hojlund feels that at Manchester United he can progress his career in the way he wants to and follow in the footsteps of his idol Cristiano Ronaldo. I still think that Hojlund deal will get done and Manchester United will bring him in. Like I said in yesterday's show, I think there's going to be lots and lots of clubs out there who are going to all try and get Harry Kane. It's silly of us to think that nobody else is going to come in for Harry Kane. I think PSG, Bayern Munich, there'll be a few other clubs within Europe that are going to come after Harry Kane. And then we've got the Saudis. Last night we heard that they offered 300 million euros to Mbappe. In fact, the deal in itself will be somewhere in the region of 700 million euros for Mbappe. He'll make that much in 1 year. That's just ridiculous. If he was to accept that, that would just be absolutely insane. And I'm thinking if Harry Kane comes on the market, this is it. I think Tottenham might be thinking, oh, we could sell Harry Kane to one of the Saudi clubs for a huge fee, make some serious money. And this is why they're thinking, right, we're going to put him on the market. We might be missing the whole picture. Tottenham might end up selling Kane to someone in Saudi, and that will be horrific for us. This is why we need to convince Harry Kane that his option is Manchester United and only Manchester United. I think we've got a massive chance of doing that. It is just about convincing the player to come to Manchester United. What Harry Kane wants to win is trophies, that's for sure. What Harry Kane wants to do is score goals. The ambition to break the all-time Premier League record. This is why Manchester United have got an outside chance of going and getting him. I think we can offer him everything. I think if he joins the club, he will know that he could turn this team into a championship winning team. He could make this team into a team that competes in the Champions League. This would be one of the biggest signings we make in a long time if Harry Kane comes to Manchester United, because we will become a team that genuinely is able to compete in all the big competitions. It will be absolutely insane. Drop your comments below. What do you think of all that's going on? This is insane. This must be exciting for all Manchester United fans. This is what we dream of. All these transfers coming in and out. We want big players, and this is what we're talking about. Harry Kane would be a huge player. Hojlund will be a huge player for the future. Amrabat is going to be a top player. Who else do you think Manchester United should be looking at? Are we missing the bigger picture? Should we be bringing in other strikers? Should we be looking at other players? And finally, the Glazers, the big elephant in the room. What is going on with them? No takeover news, nothing. I think the whole transfer window has come at a perfect time for the Glazers, because they know that everyone gets distracted by the transfer window and stops talking about the Glazers, stops talking about the takeover, stops talking about Sheikh Yassim and Sir Jim, stops talking about all the other problems at Manchester United, because everyone's focused on the positive news surrounding Manchester United. In fact, I think the Glazers are fully aware that if they bring in these big key signings, lots of fans will sit back down again and give them another season, another 2 seasons. This could be a serious possibility that once they do sign these big players, that everyone calms down for at least another season or two until the cracks reopen and we have the same issue where the long-term vision of Manchester United is questioned again under this ownership. Please hit that like button and subscribe if you've not already done so. You are watching the Man United stream.